everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, and our co-sponsor CardHoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. I am Evan Irwin, and we begin each week by saying hi to my two co-hosts, Aaron Campbell.
Cuckoo.
Ruben Bressler.
Oh, hi, how are you?
You didn't have any other animal noises you could share with the group?
No, let me explain. As I said in the pre-show, I've been binge watching French thrillers on Netflix. And I was watching one the other day where the little girl came home from school and she said, "Cuckoo, papa," and he goes, "Cuckoo," and the subtitle said, "Hello." And so I just assumed that was like some neat little like French catchphrase or something. But yeah, it was a greeting like "cuckoo," and I just...
Oh, that's sweet. Well,
great. So whenever I've got doves at my house, I'll be able to communicate with them.
All right, as a bird person.
It's a little culture, you know?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, as of tonight, we officially have the alerts set up. I figured it out somehow during the pre-show. So if anybody follows or subscribes or throws some bits our way, we will see that on the screen, which is really cool.
Nice.
However, because rules and things, and the Twitch is like, this is how we want things to work.
Yeah.
We can only go live on Twitch. We will upload the archives to YouTube, which is fine. But unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on your platform, I guess. We're here. So that's cool. We also have our new icons that you can use in your emoticons. That for the base sub level, you got that tater. For those who have feel free to tate in the chat.
Got that tater.
Got that sweet tater. And then we have the blue microphone for level 2. And then level 3, the big dog, we have the gold mic.
Which we typically only reserve for our MtGOs. That's the same graphic that we use for our MtGOs awards. So you get like the big trophy for being the highest level of subs. So thank you.
Ooh, thank you, a little loof. We appreciate that. And you two can now.
So do we have the pop-ups? Do we have any sound effects going along with those?
Well, right now we have the little bling, the little default blingy bling. We'll fix that to something custom later. You know, we're just getting running here.
We're still tiny babies.
We're crawling. We're trying to walk.
Don't eat the baby. Don't eat the baby.
But we don't eat the baby.
Don't eat the baby.
We talked to you about this. Now, we also get started with our trumpet blast. You get one if you support us at our highest level on Patreon. There isn't one this week, but there may be if you decide to support us on there at that level. But we kick it off with our first pick and a giveaway. Well, we want to give away something really neat, which is kind of, you know, I'll be honest, it's kind of my brainchild. The instant I saw the sagas, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, and I wanted to make something neat that would go just for the sagas. And I was like, you know what, I can make coins, and I know how to make coins, and I got them sourced, and I have a really cool, you know, awesome graphic designers, and we just put things together, and ta-da, we have the CoolStuffInc.com lore coins. Those are a set of 3 coins. I have a book on one side and a +1/+1 on the other side. So even if you're not using sagas, you can always use a +1/+1 counter. We'll give away 3 of those sets. We'll have 3 magical winners tonight.
Nice.
Wow, get them coins.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they're super duper cool. You can find them at the Cool Stuff Inc. booth if you're at a show, or of course on the website. So that's really neat. I put the link in the chat. I can actually put it into the chat and not make Ruben like figure it out.
Figure it out for YouTube? Yeah. I mean, I guess that's one of the plus sides. I feel a little bad for our wow, that is a really distracting. We got to shrink that graphic when people give bits.
Hey man.
Thank you for giving us bits, but we got to make that smaller in the future.
Wow. You know what? They're giving us bits, dude. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, Swifty Chaos. But yeah, we that's one. I guess that's one of the upsides of not having YouTube anymore. But like, obviously, I feel bad that we can't stream to YouTube for our YouTube fam. So hopefully they migrate over here to Twitch. But we appreciate everybody that's showed up here. And in the future, the VOD will get uploaded to YouTube pretty quickly after the live show.
Right. It'll be basically the next day. Like the first thing that happens, you know, for boring background stuff, what happens after this show is I immediately flip over to the Mac side because I'm on a Mac on Windows and stuff. And then I export the patron show, and then I put the patron show up, and it doesn't go up to like 2 in the morning or whatever because it's huge and it takes forever to upload. And then the next day I'll come back and I'll chop it in the right way and upload it to all the different places. So that said, we get started with our first pick. And the first pick for this week is that Dominaria is killing it. Dominaria is crushing it. You know how long as long as I've worked at Cool Stuff, just the amount of time I've worked at Cool Stuff, we have never sold out of booster boxes of a new standard set. Guess what happened?
You guys sold out of
Oh.
Booster boxes of a new set. That's amazing.
Now we were able to get more and stuff, and that's sort of how it works. But like there was a point where we literally sold out. That's crazy. All right, so let's go back to the other thing. Now there was a lot of, I can imagine Wizards got a lot of negative feedback about the promo for the booster boxes. So if you're at Wizards and you happen to be listening to this, this is the part where you get to take this to the people higher up and say, look what happened. That promo is amazing. When you staple basically a $20 bill to your booster box, A, you're able to get ahead of the huge resellers, and B, you're able to support your local game store. The sales of that booster, the sales of Dominaria were double Ixalan, double Amonkhet. Like, ridiculous. Crazy good. Like, there was less booster boxes bought on the day of release, but that's because everyone bought their box a week earlier, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So like this is doing what Wizards wanted to do. So yeah, there's going to be people complaining about it, but this did what you wanted to do. It sold boxes of Dominaria like I've never seen before. It helped out the friendly local game store. It gave you a reason to go buy a booster box as early as possible, to show up at the pre-release. Like it's nuts. This is what it wanted to do. It's great, and Dominaria is just killing it.
Yeah. Well, I think it demonstrates that, social media is just the people on social media are just a small percentage of the population. And then not everybody has Twitter. Not everybody, is on Facebook and things of that nature. But also, I'm willing to bet that even some of the people who voiced their displeasure still went and got themselves a box.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We're Magic players. We'll complain, but we'll do it anyways. And so I think one of those two things or both of those things are true here.
And it's not just the promo. I mean, I guess the promo.
The set's still fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It may have helped, maybe. But because I don't have, you would know that better because you work in store at a friendly local game store. Did the promo seem to help pre-sales?
He's saying they did.
Yeah. So. All right.
Now, granted, again, Dominaria is a great set. I'm not trying to discount that, okay? I'm not trying to say you can put that promo on a crappy set and that's going to make everything better,
There's plenty of high fives to go around. We can give a high five to Firesong and Sunspeaker. We can give a high five to Richard Garfield coming back. We can give a high five to coming home and bringing a bunch of people back. At the Grand Prix this past weekend, I saw people that I hadn't seen for a decade, people I hadn't seen since before I started making Magic content, people I played Magic with in high school who were like, yeah, I'm coming back because, my homeboy Karn is here, or I'm back with Llanowar Elves, or, all those exciting things that they wanted to return to. And so I've heard lots of stories about that in person and online as well. And speaking of online, Lee Sharp mentioned that Dominaria is experiencing a new record. So the tweet here says, a metric we track for Magic Online is the number of accounts that log in each week, or WAU in industry speak. This past week was a new record, he tweeted on April 30th. Glad everyone's enjoying Dominaria on MTGO. So it's not just in person and paper boxes, but boy, is it also online. Everyone seems to love this set. I haven't heard a bad word said about it yet.
I've been enjoying seeing streamers try out the new cards. I think another sign of a good set is when you see impact across multiple formats. My friend Holy Diva has been testing a blue-red Wizards deck with Addy Lees, and the new counterspell and the new Lightning Bolt in Modern. Obviously, Damping Sphere is being tested across the board. Karn is seeing play in Lyra Dawnbringer and Standard.
Yep.
Shillelagh. Shillelagh's been tested in Legacy. I know there's a young man, Phil Gallagher. He's known for playing Death and Taxes. He's been testing her in Legacy Death and Taxes. Across the board, you're seeing the impact, and that's just amazing to see.
Oh yeah. And one of the things that to go back to the promo really quickly, and somebody asked about this in chat, and they said, did CSI, did Cool Stuff Inc. send promos with the online orders? No. Because Wizards was like, surprise, even though you've been selling booster boxes, here's the thing. And we're like, okay. So, and it's per store, so you have to do it per store. So we had to create a system where you had to either, go in and buy it from the store itself and say, I want the promo, or cancel previous orders and get the new order again, because there's no way to keep track. So if Wizards does this again, could you tell us before we start selling stuff? Because
So you're saying that there were people who bought the box before the promo was released, like you didn't know about it, and so then after the fact,
Right.
There was some feel bads because they should have gotten those promos. Is that what they're saying?
I mean, you know, I can look. Magic players like to get stuff, and they definitely want to make sure they work all the angles, and that's cool, and I get that. It's just that ultimately, you know, and one way you can look at it was that it was a promo for the friendly local game store for you to go to your game store and get your box, and that was the point of it.
Right.
So being able, you know, making them go to a Cool Stuff Games location, I think is reasonable. It's just that again, it happened in the middle of all this pre-ordering, and the hype was getting huge, and everyone was excited, and then like, oh yeah, exclusive promo for pre-orders, and it's like, well, we've been taking pre-orders. Could you tell us?
Oh yeah,
because it's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm afraid they're going to drop it. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm afraid there was this wave of negativity, and they're like, you know what, we should not do that for Core 19 or whatever the fall set is, and well, you know that was a bad idea. No, it was a great idea. Yes, the stars aligned with the rest of it, but it was great. It did what they wanted it to do.
And I have to mention, you know, you weren't the only one, and Wizards wasn't the only one that had special pre-orders. If you pre-ordered a box through Channel Fireball, you got a borderless Reed Duke token.
And hey, man, and those promos on top of the stuff, that's all good. Good in the hood. Everybody can do that, you know, so it's sweet.
Have you gotten, so how many, the question is, how many boxes as a result of that? How many Reed Duke tokens did you order and also get boxes for?
So the last time there were Reed tokens was when he was a dragon. There was an offer where if you bought from a limited time, you got a Reed Duke Dragon token. I did not have to buy anything. I had people just sending me their tokens. So I got connections like that, you know. So nice. They're coming. I'm just not going to say how many.
Nice.
All right, good.
Now I still think, for what it's worth, that it would be important to let people know that the promo you get, that the exclusive promo that you get, may and or will be reprinted sometime in the future. However, again, the thing is worth anywhere from what, $15 to $20 right now. That's $20 stapled on your box right there, and that's great. So yeah, stars aligned with the set, but that promotion was amazing.
Yeah, turns out, you know, that I thought for sure that I think it's still on our list. Actually, I'm going to go click over to our Magic Mikesies page real quick. Yeah, it is still an early nominee of most hated card, Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Turns out that might not be the case. Turns out that's not. Maybe.
Well, it could still be like a love-hate thing. Like I said, I mean, I think that there, you know, I think there might have been people who weren't pleased. Like I said, they weren't pleased with how they had to go about it, but damn it, they wanted that card.
Yeah. Right. Well, we'll leave it on there for now. We'll see if there's some more hated cards in the future then.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Either way, Dominaria rules. My God, this is great. This is going to be one of the times you call back to. So. Yeah,
it's EDH this past weekend. I spent literally all of Saturday just playing EDH with friends, and I can't tell you how many people showed up to the game store with different commanders. My friend Chris had built Marwyn and Slimefoot. Right. I was running Moldratha, of course. I saw somebody with Joyra. I lost to a really sweet Joyra deck that this young man built himself. I also lost to a young man who put Ivra in his Oloro deck, and then proceeded to kill us with Sanguine Bond. So even the impact of Dominaria was even felt on a casual Saturday playing Commander. Everybody was. If the commanders weren't from Dominaria, the support cards were. Like it was
just a home run. Dominaria is just a home run all around, from a Spike standpoint, from a Johnny standpoint, from Commander obviously, and we'll talk about Brawl in a minute. That might be the only blemish on Dominaria's record thus far. But that
doesn't have anything really to do with Dominaria.
That has nothing to do with the set.
Which is great.
The set's great. The set's spectacular. I mean,
the set would be greater if you got rid of Brawl.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even from a Vorthos standpoint, obviously we had the what a lot of people had predicted, the Mother Ludi Jaya Ballard crossover.
Those are mine, and it's like,
those are mine, and drop mic.
It's that classic. I mean, it's a very sort of classic writerly thing to do in novels, where you call someone one name and then later they're actually the other name, and it's like, So that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great, but it's just like all the way around. No matter what, if you've been playing for five minutes or 15 years. If you play super casual or super competitive, it's just got everything. It's got it all surrounded.
Man, Dominaria, crushing it. So, moving to Gather the Townsfolk, we go to very happy news to very sad news.
Yeah, it
which
made this
becomes
news
all the
even
more strange when you
Right.
think about what we've just talked about.
Yes.
We've over here been gushing. I've been explaining from a business perspective, Dominaria is amazing. From a player perspective, Dominaria is amazing. And one of the guys who was integral on making it happen, who went to the pre-release and played in front of everybody and went in some of the Magic content they made at Wizards, Kelly Diggs, as of now, is no longer WotC staff. He was, I'm guessing, let go without him wanting to be let go, because usually you note if you resigned, for example. This account is now a personal account. Not going to tweet out much about Magic, which is fine. But Kelly Diggs, again, haven't known this guy now for, gosh, if not his entire Wizards career, if not most of it. I saw the guy from the beginning, and then later on, like, he became a real sort of, figurehead and person who was driving the story and the lore and what was going to happen to these characters, and it was great. He did a great job at that. So it's just unfortunate to hear. Obviously, from us here at the show, we hope he has a bright future at some terrific companies. I think lots of companies would like to have him and be able to work with him. And if he ever wants to make any Magic content, hit a brother up.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he's a smart guy who knows how to write and knows how to make a story look good.
And he's also in the if you haven't seen the completely and unquestionably accurate history of Dominaria yet, produced by Megan and Maria of Magic the Amateuring, Kelly is in that, and it's just like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in Magic content, and I love it so much. So yeah, I mean, it's a huge blow, and we'll miss Kelly, but good luck going forward.
It's baffling. It's baffling and obviously there are things that we don't know and we may never know.
We
that's fine,
don't want to speculate. I mean,
but it's baffling when you look at it from an outside perspective. When you look at sort of how successful the set is, and you look at what an integral part he played in that, and then to see that, like, it doesn't make sense to those of us following along at home. It's like, so I could see if the set did poorly. I could see if he was like, fifth designer from the top, and no one knew who he was. But it just seems like so odd, where it's like, how?
Does.
Like,
It's just, I mean, to me, I can only imagine how bittersweet it is for Kelly, because, man, to have such a home run.
I have really been maybe enjoying is the wrong word for it, but Alexis Jansen also recently parted ways with the company, and I've really been enjoying seeing how candid these folks are now that they're sort of not with the company anymore. And it's not that they're like spilling any crazy tea, but they just get to be more of themselves. Like Alexis is streaming, she's been doing these really long threads about like development and building a cube, and you do have to kind of rein yourself in a little bit when you do work for Wizards. We certainly do get to see glimpses of these folks, but to see them really kind of let their freak flags fly now that they're gone, I like that. And so both of them even noted, Kelly and Alexis, that they'd actually gained more followers after they left the company, and you were expecting people to kind of lose interest and be like, well, no more Magic, I'm gonna go now. But no, because they're opening up more, that's encouraging people to follow them, and I think that's a great sort of
I mean, I was certainly surprised that for those of you who've only known me through Magic Mike's, I used to work for Star City Games, and I thought that was going to be the pinnacle of my Magic existence. And once Magic Mike's, or once Star City Games was done, I was going to move on and do other things. And I mostly did. But when I left Star City Games, I had about 3,000 Twitter followers, and I'm almost to 7 now. And so that seems to be a phenomenon that is not unique. That just seems to be the norm, is when you leave, people want to follow you even more after that, which I find fascinating.
It also reinforces the fact that you're multidimensional. You're not just one thing. It's like, I can't think of anybody I follow that I follow for just one thing.
Sure.
I might follow somebody. I might have started following somebody for Magic.
Right.
But maybe they have a cute cat or a cute baby, and so to say that, to say when you leave a job, to assume that everyone's just going to leave you for that. No, there's more to you than just your job, and then that really reinforces that.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben, but I feel really bad for you, man. How did you lose 2,993 followers? You went from 3,000 to 7.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal. Also, I'm more horrendous with math, apparently.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of awkward mistakes.
Oh, my God.
Wizards of the Coast accidentally scared the hell out of everyone last night.
Everybody.
Every store.
This was weird. I didn't hear any buzz about this on Twitter. I heard about this was from our Patreon Discord. Where what happened? And I was like, I have seen no chatter whatsoever.
My friend, I had two people that I follow tweet about this. My friend Eric was the first one. He said he received an email telling him that his store's WPN status had been revoked. And he was like, this is very interesting. And they told him that in his case, it had been revoked because he had run too many late events. Like his events didn't start on time. And he was like, that's very interesting because the only event that ever didn't start on time was because Word didn't work. And we had to restart the computer to get it to work. And so he was trying to call the hotline and their phones were jammed, obviously. And then somebody else had tweeted about it about an hour later. And so I knew two people who were directly affected as to like, what is going on? And then for it to all just be a whoopsies, it's just like, that's not okay. That's unacceptable.
Well, I mean, if there is a Facebook group, but it's moderated, that means that anyone who is posting like can't be like, is this happening to you too? Is this happening to you too? That was a problem. The phones were jammed.
That certainly delayed the typical social media chatter.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and this is scary.
Well, they sent an email to, I can only imagine all WPN stores, the fact that literally every Cool Stuff Games location got one, saying like, hey, you're not in the program anymore. Just want to let you know, GG, take care of yourself. And got flooded, and later came out and said, we apologize for any concern this caused you. That email was accidentally routed beyond whom it was intended for. By the way, mark down that language. That's some pretty terrific language when something gets screwed up like this. Accidentally routed beyond whom it was intended for. If you have strong concerns about your status, you can email retail support for further assistance, which I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
And for those playing along at home who may not know what that means, so WPN Network is the basically permission from Wizards to host events. It means that you can host Friday Night Magic, and if you have a certain level in the WPN Network, you can then host PPTQs and things of that nature. So for a store to lose their status is a really big blemish on their image and on their business. And so I can understand why stores were just like, holy crap, what is going on? And that's a really big, if somebody just hit the wrong button, that's a really big mistake.
It's
and
huge. I mean, a lot of these
stores,
a lot of these stores depend heavily on that WPN status.
Yeah.
We talked maybe 2 years ago about the British Isles stores that were losing WPN status, and then later stores in Southeast Asia, I think, were losing WPN status, and how huge of an effect that was having on not only the businesses, but the people who ran the businesses. These heartfelt, brutal notes to read that were published to Twitter and Facebook and places like that of, this is 15 years of history going away because we're losing WPN status. And so while this could be a reply all, accident situation, similar to remember when Channel Fireball sent out the form letter email about their GPs. It's that, but like on a whole nother scale, because if I was a store owner and I'm already, it's a hard life out there for your friendly local game store. I mean, it's hard to run a brick and mortar store. Like the Meltdown shut down last month. The Meltdown, one of the world's most famous comic book stores, closed its doors. It is not easy.
I mean, basically Magic is often the breadwinner. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is cool, Pokemon sometimes is great and sometimes is not that great, but like Magic is a breadwinner. That's how they make the rent. That's how like, and to quote, Big Worm from Friday, you mess with my money, you mess with my emotions. Like, you just scare the hell out of people. So like, maybe we could like send out something and be like, yo, just so you know, everybody's cool, this is sweet, you're great. Like, apparently some people were supposed to be dropped, but it turns out everybody got that letter. So that's a weird thing, but either way, it's unfortunate. It
is a rough mistake, and I don't doubt that heads will roll over it, or some number of disciplinary actions will happen. But you know what? That's a rough one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That said, we are not alone, as it appears, in the show about Magic culture and news and stuff. Because the Maze Magic News showed up. I'm going to bring it up here on screen. Where they had their debut show with Austin Scoggin, Mylan Sarley, and Vivid Vivka.
Yep.
They want to talk about culture and what's going on, and so do we. And that's really sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. So these are some folks who are in the cosplay Twitch communities. They've done some hosting. They've done a lot of modeling and cosplay, and they are... I know Vivka specifically from Maze Arcana, the D&D channel. She's on Sirens of the Realms and a couple of other role-playing game shows. This show is not for our audience. This is like a very different take on the Magic kind of show. This is a Magic the Gathering news show for brand new people getting into Magic, coming from other games, coming from other streams. And so, you know, when our audience, or when, I mean, I watched the first episode live, you know, and they talk about, well, here's the baseline, Standard's the most popular format. Yeah, I mean, you're right, but that's like not how we start Magic Mics. You know what I mean? It's in the same family of, you know, hour-long weekly news show. But I'm glad that this show exists because we don't bring in the type of new audience that Maze Magic News is going to bring in. They're going to bring in a completely different type of new audience to Magic the Gathering, and I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Right, and I'm ready for me and Austin to have like a model off. Let's do this.
Sure,
I will strut.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Sure. So yeah, you should definitely go check out the 8-pack that Austin Scoggins rocking.
Yeah.
You know, we pride ourselves on being the most attractive Magic news show, but we'll take a back seat now. That's cool. And so I'm excited to see what they have to come forward.
Oh boy.
Aaron.
I've stewed on this for a little while. I have to get this off my chest because this is something that bothered me, and I'm going to try to word it as constructively as I can. So I'm going to start off with a compliment. I liked the show. I liked the unscripted moments more. I like when we got the aspects of their personality. I liked when they bantered between them much more than the scripted portions. And so I hope when the show continues and they make future episodes that they give them more of an opportunity to be unscripted, because I really, really enjoyed that when they were off the cuff.
Well, I would note that Vivid Vivka, very attractive lady. Be careful. A lot of not safe for work stuff out there.
Sure, she's a model who sells a lot of her work on Patreon, and I'm sure that everybody's familiar with that sort of Patreon model situation.
Right.
Well, I wasn't finished either, so
yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, let's continue.
However, what really bothered me about this, and I feel like we've seen this before, is that we didn't know who these people were, and that was the number one thing that I saw when I shared the tweet about this was everybody going, who are these people? And we've seen this before. We've seen Wizards try to bring in personalities from other games, hoping to expose other communities to Magic. And I understand why you're doing that. I understand that from a Magic standpoint. But you're not introducing us to these people. You're not giving us a reason to care. You're not giving us a reason to become invested. I don't know what a Kriparian is. I don't know what a Vivka is. I have no idea. And it's great that you're bringing these people in and getting access to these other communities, but we, the primary Magic community, the people whose primary game is Magic, it feels like these things are sort of being dropped in our lap. Like there was no rollout, there was no hype. I don't know who these people are. And sure. I'm not going to watch a show or watch a stream just because they tell me to. Like I need to feel an investment to who I'm watching. And so I'm sure this is going to be a great show. I enjoyed the first show, but I feel like when they bring these characters in, we don't know who they are. And we kind of talked a little bit about this in the last show in terms of reciprocity of, you know, these people are exposing their audiences to Magic, but are they doing a good job of bringing Magic to them? I'm not really so sure. We see this with Gen Con, you know, Wizards starting to put more effort into packs than they do with this convention that has, you know, loved them and supported them. And so I just worry how they spread their resources around that. They're kind of isolating the base a little bit. And so I just couldn't help but feel a little bit like, here we go again. Here's another big name that I'm supposed to care about and I'm supposed to know about.
I think that the difference, the difference here is that they're targeting a different audience, as Pharmacist Judge points out in the chat. You know, they're trying to bring people in from other lots of life. As somebody who is going to attempt to bridge my Magic the Gathering content creation over to Dungeons and Dragons later in the year, I can appreciate Dungeons and Dragons folks trying to bridge over into Magic. And so I want to see them.
To be clear, I'm saying I want that too. What I'm saying is the bridge needs to go both ways, where this is still being shared by Magic staff saying, hey, you as a Magic player are supposed to care about this show. I don't know who these people are. And so I understand what you're saying, that for the DC folks out there, this is great, but a bridge there's going to be two sides to a bridge.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we got to be careful, because I don't want to gatekeep. I don't want to be it's not okay for you to make Magic content. Make Magic content.
I didn't say that.
Absolutely.
I'm saying that if you're going to aim it at both sides, I would like to be appealed to as a Magic player, as I want to like this show, but I know nothing about these people. And so I would like to, is what I'm saying. Like, tell me what an Amaz is. Tell me what a Trump is. I have no idea. And I just would like to see more of that, without the feeling of, here's someone you should know. I don't know them. Who are these?
And the folks that you're talking about with the Hearthstone connection of Trump,
I have no idea.
Amaz, and then obviously Day 9 was invited to a Pro Tour. Like, those kind of bridges are awkward for us who already live in the Magic the Gathering world. But again, I don't know how to.
This is a weird topic, because it's easy for us to come off either gatekeeping, or like personal attacks.
And
and we're not
don't
trying
want to do that. So look, all I'm saying is more content's more content.
Absolutely.
They launched their show. we'll see if it keeps going.
Yeah,
I absolutely recommend you folks out there that know these people already. If you follow Vivka on her D&D stuff, or if you follow Mylan on her Twitch stuff, or if you like Austin's cosplay and things like that, you can say, hey, they have this new Magic show. Remember how I play Magic? Well, they have a show. This person you already know from the thing that you're doing. Why don't you come join us over at the Magic the Gathering table? And I think that's great. I hope they succeed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on here, because honestly, that got a little hairier than I expected.
Yeah.
Either way, there was a new concept and Legends art book announced, which sounds super cool. I'm going to pull that thing up here. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of the game, this beautiful collector's hardcover book featuring artwork, sketches, and commentary showcasing the expansive world that has captivated generations. I don't know exactly when it's coming. I mean, this fall 2018, whenever that's
also not 100% clear as to what's in it, but it
looks
cool.
Don't have a price point. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I hope it's not super expensive, because I'd like to have it, but...
Yeah, I would too. So Viz is a company that is primarily known for their manga and anime retailing and selling of not just books, but also shows and movies. They're big into the Shonen Jump scene, if you guys are familiar with any of that kind of stuff. And they seem to come out with these kind of compendiums from time to time. And so to see them come out with a Magic-themed one is a little interesting, because I'm not sure I've ever seen anything from this company before. But they do this kind of thing for a living, where they come out with a Magic art book. And, of course, celebrating the 25th anniversary, I'm all for it. I think it looks like a beautiful product.
Yeah.
Well, these are the people who also produce the Art of Magic. The Art of Magic hardcovers for each.
This is the company that makes those?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
didn't realize that was that. Yeah, I've those books are beautiful. So
Right.
I got nothing but love for these.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that, which should be super awesome. And we'll see sort of what's in it soon, I guess.
I mean, we still don't know. I mean, we still don't know what Battlebond does. And if you look at if you look at the side event schedule for Grand Prix Vegas, there are a bunch of Battlebond events, and it's like, that's a month away. Like, what is it?
Since we're talking about Magic art books real quick, because I got it when I was home in Columbus this week.
This is nice.
So I backed a Kickstarter 5 years ago for the 20th anniversary Magic art book of The Gathering Reuniting Pioneering Artists. And I move around a lot because the cops are looking for me. And
he's dodging child support.
Yeah, I got to dodge my parole officer. Anyway, so it took I change addresses all the time, and eventually I got an email from Jeff Menges, who eventually came with this on the book to keep the, well, it's a hardcover so that the book doesn't bend. Glad we finally got to connect. I hope you enjoy the book. And so I'm very pleased with the Full Steam Press folks and
Nice.
Jeff and all of the artists that made sure that 5 years later I had the 20th anniversary book. I'm very pleased.
Wow, keeping up with things. I mean, so let's go back a little bit here to Battlebond. How incredible
Sure.
is this? We are a month and 6 days away. June 8th is when this product comes out. This is a 254 card product. This is a full booster box set release. I don't have a single piece of artwork. I don't even have. Does anyone even have a logo? Do you have like what the brand of this is?
We don't even know what plane. Right? Or do we know
it's a new
we know the
plane.
name of the plane.
Wasn't
we know
this
that it's
the
on,
sports themed one where it was
Yes.
supposed to be like arena themed or something?
Yeah.
Sports
This is on
themed.
Kylem. which is a never-before-seen plane in the multiverse, and it's very sports-themed. There's lots of,
and whatever that's supposed to
Dragon
mean.
Ball. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, that's really strange way to anyway try to like define a plane. Like, this is where we play football. And of course, Brian Braun-Duin's going to love this set because the 3-letter code is BBD.
Is MTG BBD. Absolutely.
That's pretty sick. But
I'm real excited to see what they do with this, because this is supposed to be like more two-headed giant themed theoretically.
Yeah, I love two-headed giants.
This
I will say,
two-headed giant stuff.
Props MTG, no spoilers from this one thus far. Good job keeping it on lockdown, like Thanos.
It's on lockdown so hard, we haven't even seen anything from it. Actual zero,
no
but one article.
There's no Gosh book. There's no accidentally getting rid of a sheet of rares.
There was an article on February 14th from Gavin Verhey saying, "Hey, I made this cool new thing. See you in forever."
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll learn about it before it shows up. Like, we need something, guys. Like, I can't. Like, from a retailer website type, well, how am I supposed to sell this set? What am I supposed to show you? Like, with Dominaria, I can show you key art, right? And I can put the Dominaria logo, and I can say it's coming, and blah, blah, blah. I got nothing. Wizards, come on, guys. This is not good.
It's Hunger Games, the Magic set. That's how you sell it to friends and family.
I don't know.
You ready? You ready for Archer Tribal? That's what we're doing.
Well, moving on to, speaking of new products, moving on here to something found at Walmart. And I believe it's 300 North American Walmarts are going to have what is now a theme booster. It is a Dominaria white theme booster, is on the screen right now. But I'm just guessing and inferring that there's blue, black, red, and green versions. But these are packs of cards that give you very specific things. It gives you, white cards are in them, and you get a white rare, and I think some uncommons and whatnot. Ultimately, it's a new product that we've never seen before. They've never released a product where they said you're getting just this little subset of a set. It's always you're buying a booster box or a booster pack of whatever. So if this succeeds, maybe we'll see more of it.
I'm a fan. I'm very much a dedicated black mage, and if I can get a pack of just black cards, what am I going to do with red cards? What am I supposed to do with green cards? Nothing. And so I'm a fan.
Yeah, which seems really cool, because So basically, the boosters will contain 35 cards, including one rare or mythic card from a given color or theme.
35?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
The MSRP is $7.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. Because again, if you're just a casual Magic player and you're like, I like my black deck and I like playing with the black spells and whatever, oh man, that sounds great. That's the perfect product for them. That's what they're looking for.
Now, you can't draft this, right?
No, really.
35 cards?
Okay, no, sorry, I read that wrong. Okay.
Right. I mean, between the 35 cards, between the only one color, I mean, it would be really weird.
Yeah. The word on the street that this is also 12 uncommons. And so the fact that, I guess there are a couple money uncommons in this set, so the black and the white packs are the best ones to get seal aways and cast downs. Unfortunately, no artifact pack for you to get your damping spheres. But 12 uncommons for $7 that's no joke. Time to buy some of these, I think.
Well, plus a rare, or
plus a rare, sure.
Which would be Hot Fire, which is pretty cool. But I appreciate the fact that
there were
Wizards...
artifacts present in all three, it says here.
Oh, nice. Well, okay. I appreciate the fact that Wizards is trying new things. They're trying new things to a mass market. It's okay for Walmarts and Targets to have stuff that your friendly local game store does not. That's
Storm.
Well,
right. They put Storm in Walmart, y'all. Hashtag never forget.
So sore about that. I love it.
I can't. It hurts me. It hurts me that somebody in that building was like, I got it. Storm in Walmart.
Beautiful. Broken decks for everyone. This is...
Hashtag white theme boosters in Walmart.
Wow.
I don't think that one's going to catch on as much.
It's not going to work as well. Either way, move on here to GP Vegas, which we will all be attending, which is pretty cool.
There will be, so to start with, there will be a Magic Mike's live panel at Vegas. Every time we talk about Vegas, we will say this on the show. There will be a live Magic Mike's panel in Vegas.
Yes.
I don't know what we're going to do with it yet, but it will exist.
Well, we'll have a show. We had a show last year.
We are also in talks to do some spell slinging and to do some playing in the Celebrity Bounty. They have these events where you can just play sort of pickup games throughout the day, and then usually at the end of the day there's like a big sealed to do where you can win additional prizes if you knock a visible personality out of contention. And so we're in talks to do that too, and so it should be a really fun weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you want free packs, feel free to come on. Let's just do this. Let's get it over with. I'm just kidding. Because there was a thing. No, it's fun. Because it's funny because that was sort of the joke of my friends and or the sort of the pros of the time is that if when I do those types of events, I just give packs away like crazy. Right. And plus, if you're under 12, I'll always give you the pack.
I'm a sucker for cute children. But there's a lot of information out there. The side event schedule was just released yesterday, which is great. A month before the event, way to go!
Yay.
We have Towel Block. We have the artists up. We have the vendors up. They just released the information for the championships, which are going to be these largish tournaments for Pauper, Old School, things of that nature. 2 vintage side events, one happening on Saturday and Sunday. Yes. It's shaping up to be a really, really good time. A lot of Battlebond, a lot of Brawl. Yep. Just about any format you're into, there's going to be an event for you, and it's going to be a really good time.
Pharmacist Judge, I have good news. No giant gulf between the stage and the audience this time because there's not going to be the mega magic. There's not going to be the giant cards that they're previewing this time around. So you'll be closer to the audience.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, they also announced that there is the beta booster draft. Now, this is the thing.
Yeah.
You get to draft beta, but in order to get there, you got to go through some qualifiers. There's going to be 8 qualifiers for, of course, all 8 seats.
You mean you got to go through the dom to get to the beta?
Wow. Well,
and the sub button.
Well, you and 255 of your closest friends get to battle it out for one spot in the top 8 draft, which you'll be able to open beta packs, which sounds absolutely amazing. Did some quick napkin math. It costs $50 to enter these. You get a free playmat. I'm not sure if it's an exclusive playmat. You'll receive a special 25th anniversary Black Lotus inspired playmat and a Grand Prix promo land, which the Grand Prix promo lands were actually shown off, which is something.
Yeah, those look sweet.
Donato Giancola, yeah.
Yeah, and Wizards should have done this crap a million years ago because, and trust me, they weren't. This is not the first time that they have been told, hey, could you do promo lands because they're cool and they're easy and they don't infringe on any other cards and they don't hurt supply of stuff and whatever.
Right. So we got to clarify the qualification process for this beta booster draft. You don't get $50 and then get booster packs of beta.
Oh no, you are qualifying for the chance.
Work, bitch.
Yeah, you got to work.
Yeah, you got to be.
So $50 gets you an entry fee into one of the 8 sealed tournaments of Dominaria. That then will qualify you for a top 8 draft of that tournament, and then the winner of that tournament gets their golden ticket into the Dominaria or into the beta draft.
I'm not sure if the top 8 are going to actually play a draft. I don't know if that's actually been spelled out. Now, you are playing sealed, and they are cut into a top 8 after 5 rounds. But back in the napkin math,
napkin math.
Right, we're pulling in over $100,000 worth of entries over the 8 events, which is pretty impressive.
That's a lot.
That's a whole bunch.
Here.
Yeah, so the way the website spells it out is there will be 8 qualifying events throughout the weekend. Each of those events have one winner, and then those 8 people will come on Sunday evening and do a beta booster draft.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Tesla Prime, for the subscription. Much appreciated. So the prize payouts, are obviously a bunch of tickets and whatnot, but really you want to get into that magical beta booster draft.
Yeah. A beta booster box. When I ballparked in the pre-show what I thought a beta booster box might cost, I said $60,000, and Evan said, "No, sir, higher than that." They apparently just don't exist. They probably found this in a back closet at WotC. A couple years ago, and we're just like, 25th anniversary is coming up. We'll save it for there.
Wizards does have,
beta products. Rochester draft that says Super Dead Smurf. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, and that was where I was talking about, a week or two ago about, who gets the first pick and all that. That's really a big deal.
Sure.
But what was I saying here? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about napkin math, and then we were talking about some other stuff.
Sure, but either way, the idea that you can first of all play in a tournament. About the product. Wizards has product from way back. They still have that stuff. They pull it out every once in a while, usually for special events. And probably somewhere there's still alpha boxes and beta boxes under Wizards' control somewhere, because these things are just crazy super rare, and they get to pull them out whenever they want to do something like this. Like when
absolutely
when we have a 50th anniversary being able to pull out an alpha starter is going to be a huge deal.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and I was like, hey, a booster box ain't that low because a starter deck of alpha is 15 grand.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm not knowledgeable in that particular branch, so
sure.
Yeah, this is a cool experience though, and Vegas is the place to do it.
So we have all these details for Grand Prix Vegas.
Sure do.
We don't have any for GP Singapore.
Look at this website. It is bare.
It is bare.
There is not even if the frequently asked questions, nothing. The tourist information, nothing. And I mean nothing. I don't mean there's no useful information. I mean it is bare. It is bare as like a naked baby.
Because you gotta see it to believe it, I think, in many ways.
At least
what is the date of this event?
At least with CFB, there's like a template where like even if the pertinent information isn't there, you can still see at least like the generic, like these are the tiers. Here's like the Fnatic option. Like there's certain things that are on every website, regardless of whether or not it's filled in. This is vacant, like this, and this GP is 2 months away, and there's nothing.
And it still doesn't actually tell you when it happens, even if you click on register now or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy talk. I mean, we've made fun of this in the past for like, oh, they haven't announced the artists list or they haven't announced whatever. Nothing. This is stark. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is interesting. Now, if you actually go to their main website, apparently it will show you
there we go.
It'll show you a date there, which is nice, but like we got to get better at this. Like there needs to be templates that you're able to put together. You're able to post information early. This was not an issue with a multiple organizer sort of system. It seems to continue to be an issue with a single organizer system. So like I believe that Channel Fireball can fix this. I don't know exactly how because I don't know any of their processes, but regardless, I feel we can do better because we keep pointing it out because it's really annoying as a player to not know what in the world's going on. And, you've paid for the event space way before now. Like, I know how this works, I'm telling you. They've had the event space a very long time. Yes, you may not have all the artists locked in, or you might not have every last detail, nailed down, but, like, there's kind of a template of how many events you're going to run and what you want to do and yada
yada. Now, from what I can tell from the discussion in the Magic subreddit, is that CFB does have control of all of the events, but that they can sublease essentially, and that Panda Events is supposedly in charge of this one, whereas last GP Singapore was run by a company called Chainlinks. And Chainlinks had all the event information out several months in advance. But yeah, this is a combination problem of those two event coordinators, and I would like to see something up by the end of the week. Preferably by Panda. It looks like Panda is the ones who are running it because CFB has leased it out. But either way, there's nothing there now, so it's somebody's problem.
And that's a really interesting setup, right? Like they went to one organizer, and then the organizer got an organizer.
Sure. I mean, that's what you got to do when you're going to Southeast Asia while also trying to be in Vegas the previous weekend, right? So it's a tough road to hoe for Channel Fireball, and so that's why they have some folks who are careful, Aaron. That's why. Come on. That's a colloquialism you've heard before.
I said nothing. I was just going to say I'm going to have that song in my head, the designer Panda. I'm going to have that in my head the rest of the night.
I'm not cool enough to know whatever you're talking about. I got no idea who that person
designer
is.
Panda on Spotify.
I don't even know if the artist is designer or if the artist is Panda.
The young man and Panda is the song.
Fantastic. Today I learned because I have no idea. I'm not hip
But in
enough.
any case, this is somebody's problem and it's got to get solved.
That's fine. Yeah. But please, we talk about this because we care about this and we know others care about this. Trying to use our soapbox for improving things.
For good.
Gen Con announced that they are changing the way they are featuring artists. They are no longer going to have a guest of honor. Note, and I'll note this because I did it myself, you can have 2 guests of honor. I just want you to know that. That's okay. You can pluralize that and that's cool. I just want to note that, no shade, just saying. So they're moving from...
I'm just thinking of the breakthrough card art of just the...
Yeah.
Blow your mind.
Galaxy brain.
Exactly. That said, they're going to rebrand it to featured artists, which is a thing. Usually they give the guest of honor to one artist who has prominent placement, pays no fee for their table, and has larger space for stuff, which is always cool. For the previous ones, such as Donato Giancola for last year for the 50th anniversary, and Tyler Jacobson, Tony DiTerlizzi for 2015, and so on and so forth. That said, this year's 3 featured artists are Elena Danner, Scott Murphy, and Mark Poole. Of course, Mark Poole drew my favorite illustration in Magic, which would be Library of Alexandria. So that's super cool. And I have the playmat, and it's signed by him, and that was so cool too. So.
Yeah, Mark Poole signed the first ever Magic cards that I ever got signed, which was my playset of Birds of Paradise.
Nice.
So very pleased with that. And of course, Elena and Scott are also names that you are going to be very familiar with. The change in setup is a little weird. I mean, Gen Con's been around forever, and they've done this guest of honor thing for a while. So I'd be interested to see what the Magic artist community has to say about this. Now, you will note that this announcement was made a while ago. It just has sort of come across our desk.
Sure.
But I would be very interested to hear what in the month that transpired in between the announcement and now, if there was any hullabaloo amongst any of the Magic artists. We didn't hear any, so I can't imagine it was too much of a problem. But
I'm interested to see what's going to go on, what's going to happen with the side events. I took a peek at the side event calendar for Gen Con, and it's looking pretty bare. There's still, it looks to be, there appears to be a framework. It does go from Thursday to Sunday. You do see a list of events happening all 4 days, but if you narrow it down to Magic events, there aren't very many. There's a Magic casual play. There's a draft with an IP attorney. I'm not making this up.
That's weird.
That's what it's
That's
called.
really strange.
Weird.
There's something else here. Like there's 3, maybe 4 events here, and we've seen sort of this pulling back from Gen Con. And so maybe there are some last minute events that will creep in, but as of right now, it's not looking very good. And that makes me very sad to see, because I've been going to Gen Con since I was a kid.
Keep in mind that Gen Con is up against the 25th anniversary Pro Tour this year. It's on the same weekend. We talked about it about a year ago at this point, and so it's not terribly surprising that there isn't a ton of Magic, but there is some. And I think that
it also wouldn't. What I'm saying is, though, is this isn't. This has been a pattern. This isn't my first time with radio. We've seen a systematic pulling back from Gen Con, and it's getting lower and lower and lower. And so if this was the first time that we'd seen this sort of decline, I might not be as worried, but it's only going downhill from here.
There's also one of the beta drafts is at Gen Con, which is crazy because a lot of the folks that want to do those beta drafts are going to be at the Pro Tour, So that's going to be a little awkward.
Well, that was some weird gnashing of teeth, and like the pros are like, I can't get all the value, and just like the tears. I'm like, give me a break, dude. You're in like the Pro Tour that's paying out more than all the other Pro Tours. That's a real quick Scionthus. Thank you very much for the subscription. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's move on to something that is a little bit more exciting. Okay, we've been running through some run-of-the-mill BS. It's time to get real with some desperate ravings. The Magic the Gathering Arena Economy.
Oh boy.
Speaking of gnashing of teeth,
Wizards, we gotta work on this. And we're in beta. This is why we're doing this, is to figure this out, get the pulse, see what's going on, because apparently right now, a person in China wanted to own every card, 4 copies that you could in the game. How long would that take you to do that? How much money would it cost you to get every card that Magic the Gathering Arena has? It looks about $1,300. So $1,300 goes in. How many dollars of that come out? The answer is 0. And today, it finally kind of, it finally sort of dawned on me, sort of the way it was put on a Reddit post, that I was like, wow, this just makes so much sense, because the person said, in Hearthstone, everything you do puts you a tiny step towards your goal. Where in Magic the Gathering Arena, you can open a pack and have literally nothing of value gained. Now, that's not 100% true. You get 4% added to your vault. Oh, crap. You also up your chance of opening a wild card. Every time you open a pack with no wild card, there's a little thing that keeps track of that, and you have a higher and higher percentage chance to get a mythic or rare wild card until it hits 100% and you're guaranteed to get it. So that's cool, and that's fine. But that's not good enough, because here's your problem. You're stuck with these cards forever. forever. I can't do
Forever, ever.
I just logged back into Hearthstone, right? Because they have a really cool single player mode thing called Monster Hunt that just came out, and it's actually really sweet and fun. And I want Wizards to ape the hell out of it. Wizards, take notes. That's great. That said, I also have all of the cards I played with years ago that I, stopped playing with and now are in the wild format or whatever they call it. And I can go back there and I can grind those and I can make a new deck with new cards using stuff I paid for many, many, many moons ago. With Magic the Gathering Arena, you are stuck. You are literally stuck with those cards forever. And I'm telling you, the third copy of that crap Mythic that you opened for buying your packs with is going to feel really bad, because once Standard rotates, you're done. Now you've got whatever they want to call their weird modern everything on Magic the Gathering Arena format, because that's all you got. And so not being able to get one dime out of it, not being able to turn old cards into wild cards, I don't care how bad the conversion rate is. I'll give you 4 rares for 1 rare wild card or whatever you want to come up with, but don't leave them hanging.
Right.
I understand that Wizards doesn't want to put you in a situation where you're cutting off your arm to make this other thing, whatever. Which to be honest, sometimes in Hearthstone felt that way. Which is I'm giving up the ability to do X so I can do Y. However, there's no trading like there is in online Pokemon, and there's no crafting like there is in Eternal or Hearthstone or whatever. So that's a problem. This is seriously, you cannot leave me with dead cards forever. You just can't. I'm not going to give you $1 until you can tell me that my dead cards, after they rotate out of Standard, I can do something with them. I just don't understand how that model is supposed to look good. And the second thing, Wizards, cut this crap out where you're buying odd amounts of gems to buy even amounts of packs, so you're left with gems left over.
Yeah. That's like when hot dogs come in 7 packs and you buy 8 hot dog buns.
Right.
That's some crap. I don't like that at all. That's
a great analogy.
That's the
shady.
thing the professor got the most mad about in his YouTube video on Arena that he came out with today. If you haven't seen it, obviously go watch everything that the professor ever makes. But he said that based on looks alone, Magic Arena gets an A. Based on gameplay, it can be improved. It gets a C. Economy got a D. And it's a lot because the gems don't divide evenly into packs. Right. You buy 20,000 gems, and then to get 90 packs, it's 18,000 gems, or vice versa. I forget exactly how it works.
No, that's exactly what it is. And
is that what it is?
Right, and the smallest pack closest to that is either 1,800 or 3,200 or something. Again, you're engineering this money grubbing, very predatory almost.
Money grubbing.
Come on, you're killing me. I'm giving you $200 for Dominaria product, and I will never, ever, ever, ever see any of those dollars again. I very well may get enough, bonuses and things with the decks I build, which would be nice. There is some value to be gained there. I'm not saying you're getting the actual 0, but I'm saying that once Dominaria rotates, those cards do nothing. I can't get rid of them. I can't do anything with them, and that's really frustrating.
Yeah, they're going to need to fix that, because otherwise there's just going to be this giant card graveyard that builds up on everybody's account.
Not a good kind.
Yeah, not the good kind. You can't dredge anything out of that graveyard.
Hey-o. Well, I think that Wizards again is this is the learning experience, y'all.
Yeah.
They don't want to have foils on there because they don't like money. Wizards, don't you like dollars? Don't you enjoy cash flowing into the accounts? Because making even subtle, animations that you're already paying for when you make those really cool videos about the set, you're already paying for that stuff. So take those people, pay them more money, and have them do some small animations on the cards themselves. Make premium versions, because this has already been laid out for you. This is one of those frustrating things where Wizards is well, we've got it. We're going to do something totally unique. Why? You're I don't like this wheel. I've got the idea for this other wheel. And it's there was nothing wrong with the first wheel. We were okay with the first wheel. We were happy with it. I don't know why it's bad. It's frustrating. So, okay, that's my piece. I'm all done with MTG Arena.
Well, for this week.
So, we got more.
I'm sure we do.
Money grubbing.
it's just, I want it to be, I want it to do well. I want Wizards to have this be their big success, and they're setting themselves up for success, but not in the way that they currently have it set up. So give me flat gems to flat packs. It's okay if I can say a pack is $1.50 or $1.25 or whatever you call it. That's okay. That doesn't make the packs on Magic Online any less, because I can make money on those things. I can sell those things. I can turn those into real dollars. So whatever. Anyway, Magic Online updated their conduct policy lately.
Yeah.
And which is a good thing, because basically they're saying we're going to be more aggressive, and we're going to go after people more actively, and we're going to shut down accounts quicker.
Well, there was an incident that happened this past weekend, which I'm curious if that sort of fueled this fire, where, if I understand it correctly, there was a young man that was playing for top 8 of an event, and one or two people started spamming them with trade requests, to the point where he was having to cancel them out, and that ticked down his clock, and he was timed out and essentially missed top 8 because of these two people who were spamming him with these requests. And
Jose Manuel Cabezas was in the last round of the standard PTQ this weekend.
Yeah, and so the tweet was shared, went viral, and we've seen this quite a bit recently, of sort of these underhanded ways, and just obviously the MTG Salt that's very popular. There's a whole account called Salty Losers of screenshots, and people saying things. The professor posted one the other day where he took Burnout for a spin, and his chat opponent was saying all the things that we might think about burn players, but we don't necessarily say to them. And so, there's just been an influx of that. And we've certainly seen people doing, the timeout game where they've lost, but they're going to make you wait for that 15 minutes. And it's all been kind of leading up to this.
So one of the things I complain about on Twitter, I feel like there's a small amount of crow here for me on this one, where I said, when you block somebody, you should also be able to report them. And it appears that they kind of want it both ways, which is weird. You actually do get a pop-up that says player blocked, and choose why you blocked them, and maybe give us a little write-up as to why you blocked them. Okay, great. That's kind of sort of what I was alluding to. However, it's really weird. They were just like, but we also want you to do this online conduct report thing, because because it's not good enough to do that first thing.
It was my understanding that you basically had to provide documentation. That it's one thing to say this person was rude to me, but they need to know the game that it happened. They need to know they prefer screenshots. They essentially are saying they can't just take your word for it.
Right.
Well,
if only they had access to literally every bit of data about your account, first of all. Secondly,
but if you're playing a lot of games, there are people streaming 10 hours a day. Which game did this happen in? I understand the need for more information.
And I get it. So that's the part where you essentially say this is a half donkey measure, if you will. This is only half the donkey, all right?
Okay, Dr. Phil.
We got to go all the way. It's half-ass, all right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Half donkey measure. Mm-hmm. What you want to do is get at least 3/4 of the donkey.
Seriously, this whole bad conduct report thing is about, you have to get the user's ID, which you already have because you blocked them, the game ID, which you're probably in the middle of playing, and all this other information. You should be able to get that in the game, in the client. And even if this client is old and crappy, it ain't that old and that crappy that it can't show you the game that you're reporting on. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think it makes sense, and it especially makes sense with probably the rush of just. They even say at the beginning of the post, that they receive a lot of reports, and frankly, not all of them are valid. I mean, someone might, you might be upset you lost a game to somebody, and you're going to report them. Well, that's not what this is for. And so I understand the need to kind of weed through all of that noise, and I also understand the need for. I worked with mortgages and home equity. I'm all about documentation, so I can't be mad at that. I think it makes sense.
The other thing that got updated in the conduct is that you can opt out of in-game chat altogether, which I like. I think that is a long time coming and needed to have happened 10 years ago. Yeah. But we're finally there. So there we go.
Will the other person know that you've opted out of it? How does that?
I don't know. I don't know if it sounds like blocking or it sounds like muting. So say it in a language that you might get.
I don't see that in here.
Is it not?
It different?
It is unclear. I did not see that myself, but I saw someone talking about it.
Okay. I'm interested to know more about that. Is the other person going to know?
Right. it's like I was saying, are we blocking someone on Twitter and it sends them a notification, or are we muting them on Twitter and letting them scream into the void? I don't know.
Well, I would rather, for what it's worth,
there we go.
my druthers would say
we're looking at making some changes to Magic Online, is what it says. So they have not given that thing yet. The passage that it says, it's right before the what should you report section. Beyond updating our policies, we're looking at making some small changes to Magic Online to provide tools to help players manage their experience, including allowing you to opt out of in-game chat altogether.
Seriously,
ideally, we'd like
should not be talking about this 15 years after this client showed up.
Exactly.
First of all,
yeah.
But either way, if my druthers were there, I would say that I would want if I had my druthers.
Druthers Brothers.
Right.
My God, I feel like I'm in an episode of In the Heat of the Night. Like,
oh my God. Well, hey y'all.
I shot him, and I hope he burns in hell.
That's not In the Heat of the Night. It's fine.
I know. I was thinking of another Southern thing in my head.
It's true. All I'm saying is I would rather know if my opponent has chat turned off, because I feel like if I have chat turned off, it would come across as rude if they're like GLHF, and I'm just like.
Because that's happened to me before. Like, I've had people that'll recognize my name and be like, hey, I'm a big fan. And I just don't look at chat. And then I won't see it for 20 minutes later. I'm like, oh, sorry. And then by the time I say good luck, I've beaten them. And that's just.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or you just brush your shoulders off first.
Right.
And then you tell them.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Brawl. Brawl is the standard format only EDH, right? That's your commander format in standard. It's broken. Wizards, it broke. It's like Wizards asked a question like, what does broken mean to you? I don't know. Look at Brawl. It's broke. There you go. Would you like an example from today? Broke. You remember when there were 32?
How many Brawl decks? How many?
Like
12 out of the top 32 this week.
And it's
17 last week.
I mean, Brawl had an impact on 1v1 Commander the minute it was allowed to be a commander. Like, I'm amazed that they thought it was going to translate well.
I understand that they wanted
Brawl
Brawl
when it's not crazy, only Brawl and Galta competitive. I mean, it's
Galta,
a ton of fun.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Galta's
the other one.
This week finally broke new ground because we finally had a non-blue, non-Galta deck make the top 32.
Galta is that prevalent?
Oh yeah. It definitely
wow.
is. It's the second most powerful.
Galta is the second most popular deck. And then after that it's like Admiral Beckett Brass and Scarab God. But this week Vraska finally made an appearance. There was one Vraska.
Well,
I respect Galta.
All I'm saying is the format is broke, and Wizards wants Brawl to work alongside the standard ban list. It can't. Wizards, it can't. You've opened the box, the Pandora's box. Here we are. You're going to need to make a separate ban list for Magic, Brawl 1v1. And for what it's worth, take some of the ban crap off of it and let us play with our cool little creatures and toys in the Brawl format, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Now, to be fair, Brawl is horrendous in the multiplayer format, which Brawl was designed to be. This is supposed to be a 5-player game, but much like one-on-one EDH, where certain things are way too powerful, Edgar Markov comes to mind. Raphaelos is another good one.
Right.
When you have one-on-one Brawl, it gets completely busted in half. And so while I agree with you that I would personally love to have Ramanop Ruins available to me for my mana base for my Itali Brawl deck, I think that it's twofold. One is just play multiplayer. I mean, I don't know why they immediately came out with competitive leagues for this. Commander simmered for years as a casual only thing, and you don't have one-on-ones available at Grand Prix as far as I'm aware of Commander. Is that true?
I don't know about in person, but I do know on Magic Online you can form the games like you would form a Commander game and just have them be Brawl decks.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's a symptom of trying to shoehorn this format into previous formats, square peg and round hole situation here. And so with all that said, they are going to need to fix it, because it's unacceptable to have 60% Brawl decks.
It's so at that point you would say, well, they would need a ban list for 1v1, and they need a ban list for just Brawl as a format, and they would need the standard ban list. And it's like, Well, do you want to support this thing or not? Because it is literally busted. There's no way I'm going to spend time building anything but a Brawl or Galta deck in those types of formats for those types of events. Why would you? Like, you want to fight against, a 2-mana legend that gets all your crazy counter spells be cheaper? I mean, it's ridiculous. 1 mana negates and stuff. I mean, come on. So it's a little busted. There's a little bit we have time for just a little bit of splash damage, and I don't have the thing up right because I'm bad at this. But if we want to sort of get ourselves started here, Aaron, I just like watching you geek out over Vampire the Masquerade because I don't really get it myself, so it's fine. But like, tell us what's going on there.
So I played Vampire the Masquerade for a very long time. It is basically it's sort of like D&D. It started off as a dice module. You make a character that is a member of some clans. The lore of the game, Cain was the first vampire, and then he made 3, who then made 12, and there are the 12 vampire clans, and then they fall into sects. SCCTS, and then it's a game of politics and intrigue, and the end of the world comes in the form of Gehenna, and it's one of my favorite games. I still have all the source books. I still read them for fun. I have the Book of Nod, which is like the vampire Bible. Like, it's a thing. And it lost me for a while because they came out with a new version, and they basically took like the old clans and just like changed a couple letters. It was really wonky. But now they're coming out with 5th edition, which I believe is the 20th anniversary. And so this is coming out this summer, the 5th edition core book, where I guess we're going back to the old clans and everything else, but not the old clan, because that's also a clan, like a bloodline. It's really deep. But what kills me is there is a special edition hardcover version made by some folks in Spain, bitch, that for $600 you get this beautiful hard-covered, engraved, like the edges of the pages are like painted red. It's absurd and just, oh my God, it's just everywhere I want to be. And they brought in Justin Achille, who's one of the original faces and names of Vampire the Masquerade, and it just takes me back to my early 20s, and I want this so bad, and I just got to save up my Patreon dollars and I can buy myself the vampire book
for the low cost of $630 or whatever. You too can have. Beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece, but it's a lot
tome. Like, it's like JM tome. Like, they're not. It's a big old heavy book that like you can cover in dust, and like
it's handcrafted. With the tears of the guy making it. Like,
if you go to the Facebook page, you can see the factory.
And it's vampire, so it's made with real human skin.
I wish.
You old school Magic folks might remember Vampire: The Eternal Struggle, which was a Wizards of the Coast game that came out also in like the mid-90s or something.
They're even releasing a new card game that's coming out in July, which I'm all about. Yes, I'm so excited. It's like Prince's something.
I recently saw, because there's a bunch of variations on Vampire the Masquerade. There's also Werewolf the Apocalypse and Mage the Ascension, and the different classes in the games. You didn't have to necessarily play a vampire. You could be a werewolf. You could be a mage. And they recently came out with Changeling the Dreaming.
Yes.
Which is a gorgeous book as well, because a lot, as you can, I mean, if you guys are looking at the White Wolf page, it's pretty dour when you're looking at the vampire stuff. It's pretty dark and depressing when it's like werewolf and all that stuff. The Changeling stuff is all blue and bright colors. And I love Changeling the Dream.
And I mean, I could just talk about Vampire for ages. I love it. And we even have a couple listeners who've been nice enough to, like, whenever I bring up VTM, they'll be like, psst, I was a Nosferatu. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was a what was the class I was? Cappadocian.
I was a Giovanni. We killed you.
We're the same. Yeah, you did. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I'm going to pull the plug on this nerdery.
Blood
That's enough. I have no idea what's going on, but it sounds really cool. The last thing I want to touch about real quickly here is Hasbro bought Power Rangers.
Yeah, we kind of buried the lead on this episode when it comes to dollars and cents, but
it's true. They spent over $22 million getting the Master Toy license in February 2018, but then they said, you know what? Let's just take the whole shebang. They paid, I want to say, they don't have the amount here. I want to say, what was it, 200 million or something? No, 522 million.
522 million.
So we're going to start to see maybe some Power Ranger Planeswalker stuff for the HasCon thing or whatever. I don't know. Whatever Wizards can do with Hasbro stuff, or, Hasbro properties like they did with Transformers, they can now do with Power Rangers.
Well, they got their work cut out for them, because that movie was terrible. So
I mean, fans of the Power Rangers liked it for what it's worth, because I work with some of them, and they were like, "That movie was insane." I'm just like, all right,
but it didn't earn a profit though. Like it didn't even break even. Like it was.
Did it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't.
I'm excited to see if Hasbro does anything with Power Rangers and the brand that they've just gotten, as it pertains to this Transformers trading card game that's coming, and see if they try to use any of their other IPs in addition to Transformers as a crossover tool in that game. Try to hammer all of these big names together, get G.I. Joe in there, get, probably not My Little Pony, but who knows. Just like try to get all of their things. And certainly the world of Power Rangers and the world of Transformers aren't nearly as anachronistic as it would be to try to, shoehorn magic into Transformers or vice versa. So that would be an interesting thing for me. $500 million is a lot of money. They certainly expect a lot out of the Power Rangers brand, and I'm interested to see. We talked about the Q1 report last week. I'm interested to see what the Q2 report looks like now that they've, dropped 9 digits on Power Rangers.
Well, it appears that the movie was made for $100 million. It made worldwide 142, and that's basically a loss because your marketing budget is usually half of your production budget, and then you make only half of overseas sales versus more when they're domestic. So overall, maybe the movie didn't get there where they wanted it to be, but as a toy line, as a TV series, as something that Hasbro can take and run with, I think that's still very much on the table.
Yeah.
That said, we need to turn the corner to the finisher, but first, because I did not forget until I totally forgot to pick the winners, which is fine.
3 winners.
We're going to have 3
winners this week. Have you picked them yet?
I am picking them as we speak right now.
Aaron, talk more about Vampire. What do you...
Okay,
cool. My goodness.
Oh, my God.
So my longest running vampire character was Sophia Giovanni. I was a 7th generation. My brother was dead, and I bound his spirit to a femur that I used to keep in my briefcase. They're Italian incestuous necromancers, for those playing along at home. So my brother and I had a love affair, and then I killed him so I could get higher in the family. And then because I'm a necromancer, I bound him to me, and he was one of my ghostly retainers. I had Necromancy 4 before I got shipped off to Africa and did some exploring for the prince. And then my troop collapsed. So Sophia's still in Africa doing her thing, and she's a bad bitch. And I used to have a little brooch that I would wear, and I had a blazer.
I was a Cappadocian, which we got murdered by you people. But they were basically the necromancers before y'all were the necromancers, and then you stole all our magic.
But your guy eventually became God, though. Like, Cappadocia's like ascended,
Cappadocia's, he's a, you want to mess with that dude.
Oh, my God. All right, so we do have our 3 winners now. First up, Christopher C. from Prattville, Alabama. Justin B. from Beebe, Arkansas.
Awesome.
And Joe S. from Henrietta, New York.
Okay. I thought we were going to go for 3 for 3 on folks from down home near Evan's neck of the woods.
Woo-woo.
But Henrietta...
The Druthers?
Henrietta, the Druthers brothers.
Hey, when you get your druthers, I mean, my God.
Yeah. I'll fix your wagon.
So thank you very much for entering, and we'll be contacting you to get your lore coins because those things are sweet.
Get at us.
All right. And before we continue on to our finish here, we want to thank all of our new subscribers. That would be Scionthus, Tesla Prime, A Little Aloof, Mox Ruby. Thanks, buddy.
I wanted that emote.
He needed that emote action. And Zach the Robot, thank you very much for your subscriptions.
Thank you.
As we officially turn the corner to the finisher now.
And by the way, you guys can give us all of Amazon's dollars. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch subscription, and that's what I did. I gave us some of Amazon's dollars.
Yeah, you got Amazon Prime, subscribe. It's totally free. You have to re-up it, which is kind of weird, but again, it's nothing but your time, and we appreciate it.
And I think that the price for Amazon Prime went up this year. I think they announced that
to $120.
So you might as well get your money's worth.
Yeah.
There you go. That said, last weekend at Grand Prix Bologna, cosplayer Atlas Alters unleashed his Karn cosplay upon the world, and the Scion of Urza made his commentary debut alongside Rich Hagon during coverage of the event. Now, we've been graced with the presence of some truly legendary folks, quote-unquote, on Magic coverage before, but what historic figures would you like to see make a cameo on the mic in the future? Ruben?
Well, as you know, I'm a red mage, and Jaya Ballard's recent appearance at the pre-release was all my fiery little heart could handle. Shout out to Cube April. But if I could pick another, I would go with my man, Koth of the Hammer, because I'm sure he'd nail it.
Wow.
Simple but effective.
Aaron?
Well, I'm hoping for an appearance from Liliana Vess, of course, because she's got that grave demeanor I love so much. And whenever she's on camera, there's always an epic comeback.
There you go.
Very nice.
Well, my hope is for an appearance from the multiverse's most popular cult phenomenon, no, not Slimefoot, although I would not complain. No, not Yargle, even though I'm sure he has some interesting commentargle. No, I'm talking about the world's most popular homunculus, Philbroth. I can't say it right.
Sure.
Because no one can say it really. Sadly, I don't think he'll make a very good commentator, though, since he's always totally lost when it comes to the action.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So thanks a lot to SteveMan64 for the squeaking in there subscription, which is appreciated. But that also ends another episode of Magic Mics. Thank you for joining us here live to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Aaron.
I'm not a Yargle, not yet a woman.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Rube.
Thank you, and we hope that that all of our YouTube fans that are watching this slightly delayed join us over on the Twitch side of things post haste if you want to catch the live version of the show. But we appreciate you sticking with us regardless of the changeover, because now we're doing the Twitch affiliate thing.
Right. So no offense. It's just it's the conditions upon which we're bound. And have you seen that tater emote? Like, that tater emote is special. That's a special thing.
I don't. It's
I'm ready
weird,
to see some
man.
taters. Y'all got some taters out there. Let's see them as we head to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, CardHoarder.com, my co-hosts, Aaron Campbell and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching. I hope you support us at Patreon.com/MagicMics. Visit our website at MagicMicsPodcast.com or follow, tweet, favorite.
We'll clean that one up in post.
I switched it up a little bit. It's fine. Or follow, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online at twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Talk to us privately at MagicMicsPodcast@gmail.com. Follow the audio-only podcast at MagicMicsPodcast.libsyn.com, or find us on iTunes, or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.